Today in the city of Surrey, and good afternoon to everyone, and a very big, huge welcome. Really exciting time. I'm really excited at the announcement that we have for you today. I'm Doug McCallum. I'm chair of the Surrey Police Board. Today truly is a wonderful day in Surrey's history. We are welcoming our first police chief for the Surrey Police Service. With me today are board members Harley Chappell, Chief of the Semiahmoo First Nations, and Vice Chairs Shani Cloak and Jesse Sooner. First of all, I would like to welcome Chief Harley Chappell, Chief of the Semiahmoo First Nations, to come on and say a few words. Chief.
Nui lang CM and Chalaka CM, I Salalo, Hopakton to Sna CM, Semiamason, Heichka, Conasan Attachel, it's in Tletzi, Tia Maquilia. First off, I'd like to thank you for being here this afternoon on a very exciting day, very monumental time for the city of Surrey, here on the unceded traditional territory of the Semiahmoo, Katzie, and Kwantlen people. My traditional name is Hopakton. My English name is Harley Chappell, as was mentioned. But again, I just really want to thank each and every one of you for being here and coming to participate and be part of such a monumental time. I'm going to pass the floor to our co-chairs to share a little bit more, but really just on behalf of our community, we want to thank our chair, and our new police chief, who will be announced in a few minutes. So again, I just raise my hands in gratitude for the hard work our board has done this far, and yet the work we're embarking upon to continue moving forward in a good way. Heichka, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chief Chappell. I'm delighted to be with you today, all of you, to share with some important news. It is an exciting time for Surrey. In fact, I can't remember one that I'm so excited about in a number of years. For the last 2 years, we have been working to ensure Surrey will have a modern urban police service that will support the continual growth of our thriving and inclusive city. Since the provincial appointment of the Surrey Police Board in June, we have made fantastic, unbelievable progress in a very short time. The board has quickly come up to speed on plans for recruitment, pensions and collective agreements, IT, facilities, and governance issues. Most importantly, the board has now completed a comprehensive process to select the first visionary leader for the Surrey Police Service. The board undertook a national search and evaluated candidates in a multi-stage process. We are looking for a senior police leader with the following attributes: the ability to lead, to inspire excellence, and demonstrate the highest ethical and accountable behavior, the experience as an outstanding police leader with operational expertise to deliver the community responsive policing model that Surrey deserves. The ability to foster an open and inclusive culture and healthy workplace, and the ability to build and execute a progressive and modern strategy that demonstrates the innovation for which Surrey is famous for. Importantly, we were also looking for a leader with a track record and champion progressive police policies and approaches. In this time of global pandemic and rising awareness of issues of diversity, representation, and equity in policing, Surrey Police will have a leader who understands the challenges before us and has the expertise and the skills to take us into a new era. Having a police service that truly reflects the community it serves is a priority for the board, for the city, and for the province. We are committed to building the type of police service that reflects the public's evolving expectations of accountability in policing. Under the Chief's leadership, we are confident that Surrey citizens will receive policing services that are designed from day one to be community responsive and tailored to the issues of our community. You know, when we began this journey just about 2 days ago, 2 years ago, just about today, 2 years ago, I knew we could deliver a new era in community safety in Surrey. And today, 2 years later, we take another major step towards a thriving and safer future for all of our citizens. I now would like to invite a couple of my fellow board members, Jesse Sooner, to tell you a little bit more about the selection process. Jesse?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Jessie Sunner, and I'm one of the vice chairs of the Surrey Police Board. I'm proud to be with you today as a part of a truly diverse board that represents the wide range of professions, backgrounds, communities, and cultures that make up Surrey. As our city continues to grow, a locally governed police service will be able to scale to meet the rapid pace of growth of Surrey, while also meeting the evolving needs and priorities of our city. As a board, one of the first and most important tasks was to lead a rigorous search for the best possible candidate to serve as Chief Constable of the new Surrey Police Service. As a citizen-led board, we were aware that ensuring a fair and objective process was a top priority both for us as a board and for our fellow citizens of Surrey. In this process, we enlisted the expertise of an independent third-party recruitment firm to lead and conduct an impartial and thorough search of qualified policing leaders across Canada. As a board, we were thoroughly impressed by the caliber, experience, and both internationally and nationally of the candidates that we received. Our board compared each candidate against an exhaustive list of criteria and emphasized the following criteria: leadership, experience in finance and administration, innovation, and a desire to build a truly progressive police service from the ground up. Today, we are very proud to announce that we have selected a candidate who can do just that. As we move forward, the board will continue to act as the primary governance authority of the Surrey Police Service, holding it to the high standard of duty and accountability to the residents of Surrey. With that, I welcome Vice Chair Shani Cloak to introduce the first Chief Constable of Surrey.
Thank you, Jessie. My name is Shani Cloak, and I'm also Vice Chair of the Surrey Police Board, and I'm extremely excited to be here today. We began this process united by our shared mandate to find a progressive, accountable, and inspiring leader for the new Surrey Police Service. We are proud to confirm that our search has concluded with none other than Norm Lipinski, a seasoned leader in community center policing with over 25 years' experience leading progressive police departments and serving diverse communities. Throughout Norm's career, he has demonstrated a commitment to building a new type of police service that reflects the evolving expectations of accountability and inclusivity in policing. Community policing is Norm's passion. He has a proven track record of building strong and genuine relationships with the community, and we are confident that he will inspire the service to do the same. In addition to Chief Lipinski's decades of experience serving in large municipal services, he brings the valuable experience of having served as an assistant commissioner in the RCMP, an asset that makes him uniquely equipped to help bridge policing cultures and steer Surrey through this transition. We are very confident that Chief Lipinski is the candidate to take on this extremely important role and listen to the concerns of all Surrey residents, from those who wholeheartedly support this transition to those who may not yet know what this means for their communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Shani. With that, and this is the most exciting part, I have looked forward to this for 2 years. I know many of our residents out in Surrey have been looking forward to this this moment, and so it is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to announce the first of many pivotal moments in the establishment of our new city police services for Surrey. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you Surrey Police Services Chief Constable Norm Lipinski. Norm, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chair McCallum, and thank you, Directors Chappell, Sunner, and Cloak for this warm welcome. It's an honor and a tremendous opportunity to be part of Surrey's next chapter to build and operationalize a progressive, accountable, community-centric municipal police service. I think it's fair to say that we are in a new era of policing. And what that means to me, first and foremost, is a community policing model. And I started out in Edmonton Police Service, where essentially I cut my teeth on developing and implementing a very community-based, strong community-based policing model. When I went to the RCMP, I learned about relationship policing. And that's another nuance of the overarching community policing model. And then now with Delta, where every call, no matter how trivial, I learned matters to the public. And so with that experience, I intend on building a model of policing that is very reflective of the needs of Surrey. But number two on this is public trust. Huge. It's about heightening that public trust. It's about maintaining that public trust. And my commitment to the citizens of Surrey is that with the Surrey Police Service, to build a very diverse and inclusive police service. And with the community, so much emphasis that I'll place on community consultation. And that means not only initially of what kind of policing the citizens of Surrey would like to see, but that means on a continuous basis. I recognize that there is much work to be done, and I also recognize that we must continue to earn the trust of the citizens of this vibrant and growing city. This is going to take time. This is going to take a lot of work, but I'm up for it. Today, I'm incredibly proud to stand here before you, and I thank the Surrey Police Board for putting your trust in me to lead the Surrey Police Service into the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Norman. We are now going to open it up to questions by the press. And we will look forward to answering the questions. The press has already been asked to ask one question each and to direct their question of who they would like to answer. So we'll go ahead with the first question.
Heightening that public trust is about maintaining that public trust. My commitment to the citizens of Surrey is that with the Surrey Police Service, to build a very diverse and inclusive
I have to apologize. I don't think we could hear it loud enough.
If we could just hold on, we're having a technical
Okay.
difficulty here, and then we'll ask the caller to stay on the line.
Okay.
And repeat the question once we do a mic test.
Okay, thank you.
Jason needs to turn the volume up on the speakers. Can we run a test on the overhead speaker, please?
Hello?
There we go. All right, testing, testing. Do we have Frederick Dumel on the line from CBC Radio?
Yes.
Frederick, go ahead.
Okay. My question is, Surrey spent 30% of its budget on protective services in 2018. It's the fifth largest proportion of municipal budget in the province, for that matter. Do you think this is a reasonable amount?
Maybe I could answer it. The budget figure that we've put into the city budget for 2021 is a budget figure that was developed through a lot of consulting with a number of experienced people that did, chaired by Wally Opal, that looked at what the first year's budget would be. That figure was given out in our last year's budget, and it is a realistic figure based on what we spent for part of this year. And so that figure is been put in again for 2021. And it is a realistic figure, and it's been backed up and put together by a number of experts, both through a task force that the government set up under Wally Opal, and also by the city, by the police board, which put that figure forward, and by also the city that confirmed the figure. Next question.
The next question is from Lauren Collins at the Surrey Now Leader. Lauren, please go ahead. The next question is from Lauren Collins from the Surrey Now Leader. Lauren, please go ahead.
Hi, my question is for Norm Lipinski. I was just wondering if you have any questions or any concerns with all the controversy in the community as to whether the Surrey Police Service that you will be running should even exist.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part of the question, but if you can repeat it, please.
For sure. So my question was, do you have any concerns with all the controversy in the community as to whether the Surrey Police Service that you will be running should even exist?
Right. Thank you for your question. Having gone through this process and working with the board going forward, my view is, my mandate is to stand up a police service. And it's a tall order, of course, and it's a daunting task, but I have a clear vision and I have a clear path. So I will continue to walk down that path with the Surrey Police Board and the community, and we will build this police service.
The next question is from Nick Wells with the Canadian Press.
Hi, this is a question to. Hi, this is a question to Surrey Mayor Doug McCallum. I've seen that the National Police Federation, the union representing RCMP officers, has put out a press release criticizing the hiring process and the general state of the police force currently. I'm curious if you'd be able to respond just to the concerns they raise about the transparency of the hiring process and where the police force is at currently. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll ask Director Sooner, Jessie Sooner, to answer that question. She spoke a little bit on it in the thing, but I'll ask her if she would like to just describe the hiring process as we went through. I can say it was very thorough. I've been through a whole number of processes in hiring senior CEOs and chairmen of boards over my career, and this is one of the more thorough ones that we did with this hiring, but I'll let Director Sanders say a few words.
Thank you for your question. I can just speak to the fact that this process there's a lot that happened in terms of having this third-party independent firm really do a rigorous search of candidates across Canada. And like I mentioned, the candidates we received actually were from across Canada as well as internationally. So I know there was a concerns have been raised about where candidates were coming from. So there was a thorough search, and I can tell you that the board met multiple times in the last, since we started, to ensure that our priorities of what should be seen in a police leader were reflected in what we were looking for. And through the search, we've taken the time as necessary and done our due diligence to make sure that through this process, the candidates were given all candidates were given the shot. All candidates were looked at to see if they reflected what we believed Surrey needed in a police service. And you will see as our chief constable comes into play how well he is suited for Surrey, because this was something that everyone took very seriously. A lot of work was put into it, and there was a lot of work being done on all angles to ensure that all candidates that were wanting to come forward and that were appropriate for this position did come forward.
All right, the next question is from Chad Pawson at CBC News.
Chad, please go ahead.
The next question is from Chad Pawson at CBC News. Chad, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. Maybe Mayor Doug McCallum could answer it. I'm just curious about hiring, a former RCMP officer to head up your municipal force when you want to transition away from an RCMP force. Is there any sort of contradiction there that you're going to a person whose bulk of their experience is with the RCMP?
No, I actually think it's a huge advantage because we do have a very large RCMP force currently in Surrey. I have always said that the officers in Surrey, I respect them. They're hardworking, and at least some of them are looking at maybe moving over. But to hire a police chief that has experience with the RCMP is a huge advantage to us, and to work with the RCMP currently. We're in a transition period that we have to be both forces working together for the safety of Surrey. And I think, again, it's a huge advantage to have someone that has had some experience with the RCMP. So I actually think it's a big benefit for our new police chief to have that experience both in municipal police in both Edmonton and in Delta, but at the same time having the experience working with the management in the RCMP in Surrey. I think it's a great advantage, and we're very, very fortunate to have somebody with both qualities. Okay, and the chief would like to say a couple comments to that.
Thank you. The bulk of my policing has been in municipal. I spent 32 years in Edmonton Police Service. I spent 5 years with the RCMP, and I spent 5 years with Delta. It is important when you do a transition of this nature to be able to work closely together and understand the processes on either side of the fence. And in doing that, it's very difficult because it's a different system, it's a federal system, and having the advantage of understanding that will facilitate and speed up the transition. And I think that's very, very advantageous for the citizens of Surrey.
Testing. All right, next we have Martin Macahan from News 1130. Sorry.
Yes, a question for Chief Lipinski. What is one thing your police department will do differently? What tangible difference will people in Surrey actually notice from what they've experienced with the RCMP?
One of the advantages of a municipal department is the ability to move quickly. Whether it's the finances, whether it's the training, whether it's the equipment, whether it's the overarching policies that need to be changed or developed, you can do that quite timely. Now, with the RCMP, recognize that when you have 20,000 police officers over across all the provinces, that you have a large organization, a large bureaucracy that moves at a certain pace. Individual municipal departments can move much quicker than that.
Testing.
Having the advantage of understanding that will facilitate and speed up the transition.
Hi.
I think that this is very advantageous for the citizens of Surrey.
Hello?
Hi there, is this Ian Bailey from Globe and Mail?
It is indeed.
All right, I'm sorry, you were cut off there with your question with the audio. Can you please start your question again and let us know who it's directed for?
Rich, shall I start now?
Please.
What tangible difference will people in Surrey actually notice from what they've experienced with
The live stream off? Ian, can you please confirm that you have your live stream turned off in the background, please? And then proceed to ask your question.
The live stream is on because I need to monitor the news conference while asking my question.
There's a 30-second delay in the video, so you should be okay.
Well, you just give me the call when I'm allowed to answer my questions.
Please go ahead with your question.
All right then. For the chief, I want Ian Bailey from the Globe and Mail. I may have missed this before, but I wanted to know why the chief, why Mr. Lipinski wanted the job, and what he's going to do to build a force that takes account of the questions that are being raised.
He's confused
about
what stage he's at. I told him here in the meeting.
Black Lives Matter.
He's got the law.
And also, we rule out street theft.
Well, no, I'm not doing that because then I can't hear my response.
I didn't get all of that, but I did get the portion about why I would like this job. I think it's the best job in policing in Canada right now. The ability to also have a clean canvas and build a police department with the community, I think is very, very attractive. And looking at my past, I think it's fair to say that I'm a person of achievement, and I'm a person that endorses community policing, and I have a certain vision, a certain model in mind, but before I do anything, it will be consultation with the police board and consultation with the community. And that would include not only the community residents, but that would include all levels of government. That would include the business community, that would include the faith community, the Indigenous community, and I could add 3 or 6 more to that. So it's a very comprehensive process that we intend on building in order to facilitate the appropriate information from the community and turn that into a plan.
Will you allow street checks in your new police force? Will you allow members of your force? I know this has been a controversial area of policing elsewhere in BC, around the world.
Street checks in this province are governed by the provincial standards set by the minister, and Surrey Police Service will abide by those standards.
All right, next we have John Woodward. John, if I could ask you to please turn off your live stream in the background as we're getting pickup in the audio room here before you ask your questions. So John, please go ahead.
Right, there's no stream here. This question is for the mayor. There's been a lot of concerns raised on the budget side of things, specifically from the officer in charge, Brian Edwards, of the RCMP, about how this transition is going to work, if things are going to work together, whether there's enough money, and also to the mayor, if we've got a tax increase, we have these budgetary concerns, how did the city find $46,000 to buy you a car to drive when you already get a car loan?
Okay, to answer your first part of the question on the policing, the budget has been developed, as I indicated earlier, by the police board and by city council. It also was developed initially by a task force that was chaired by Wally Opal, which was tasked with the force of estimating what a police budget would be in the first couple of years. That particular figure was put in to the current city budget, which is before council at this stage. It is a figure that has not changed. It is the same figure that was estimated last year for the first year of policing. As far as the RCMP budget and our budget, for a couple of years, we will be reducing the RCMP budget as we hire officers in our new police in the same ratio that we hire officers. In other words, the RCMP budget for the next couple of years will be declining, and that part of their budget will be put into the Surrey police budget, and will also be will be the same total amount that is in the current budget in the city's budget. So it's a way that we have to balance both budgets as we move forward in the first couple of years, because of course it will take us time to hire our officers in the city. It is a budget that's been thoroughly reviewed by a number of different groups, and it is a realistic budget for the city of Surrey.
So the next question is from Sarbmeet Singh from 600 AM. Sarbmeet, please go ahead. If you could just bear with us, we're having a little technical glitch. We'll be connecting in one moment. All right, so it looks like we have Haroon from Omni TV. Haroon, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My question is for Mayor McCallum. The police chief has been appointed. What's the next step? When the force the hiring of the force will start, and by what time the police department will be operational in Surrey?
Well, to answer a couple of it, with the hiring now of our police chief, the police chief will be in consulting with the board and will look at starting the hiring process. And at the same time, and important is to develop a strategic plan for the Surrey Police Service. The two of them will go hand in hand, and the immediate thing will be the approval of the Surrey Police Service budget by City Council, which will decision of the council will be on just a little after November the 30th. And we will immediately start to move forward in a number of steps as we develop our new police, Surrey Police Service.
All right, next we have Catherine Urquhart from Global TV. Catherine, if you're there, please go ahead.
Catherine, please go ahead.
Yes. I am here.
Catherine, hi there, Catherine. Can you please go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. My question is for Chief Lipinski. First of all, congratulations. My question is, do you have any concerns about potentially unresolved business in Delta? Were you not interviewed very recently as part of an OPCC investigation?
If you're referring to the file, the Delta file, then that's under review by the Vancouver Police Department. And I think we know that we have to let that process work its way through.
All right, so this concludes today's media availability. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
You want me to say a few words? So this concludes our session today. Again, I just want to thank everybody for asking the question and thank the press for asking questions. And I want to thank everyone for watching this live stream. It's a very, very exciting day in the city of Surrey. We're very, very proud to have our new police chief, and we're looking forward to getting our Surrey Police Service up and running very quickly so that our citizens will feel a lot safer in our community, and we can work together to solve our problems that we have out as far as crime is concerned in the city of Surrey. A great day. Thank you again for everybody coming on, asking questions, and listening to the presentations. I want to thank the board members that were here today to come out. And I want to thank again everybody that was listening to this. And be safe, everybody. Be sure you're out there. Be sure you follow the health officials and what they have requested of wearing masks and making sure you're only in immediate household groups. We want to be safe out there. It's very, very important right now. So thank you again for listening and taking part.